Hi, my name is GZ, and I wanted to talk to you a bit today about instructional design. Obviously, video is a little bit informal, but I figure because this is a one-off and there's between 20 to 40 of you who will probably watch it, then there's not a whole reason to do a bunch of fancy hours worth of setup and editing. Hope that's okay with you. So anyhow, I wanted to do a brief little discussion of instructional design. Welcome to the course. This also hopefully allows you to see who I am, kind of some of my body language, get a sense of who you're dealing with. Essentially, what we're doing in the course is we are learning about the basics and practicing the basics of instructional design, which is essentially how to make learning more effective and efficient for our learners or for the people that we're working with. Something to keep in mind as we move through: not everybody in this class or in the program is working with K through 12. Historically, a majority of us have been K through 12 teachers. Now it's probably somewhere around 70 to 80%. What that means is there is a good percentage of individuals who are working either as consultants in private industry, doing other forms of teaching and education, informal education, etc., working with large governmental structures, training, those kinds of things. So, what's important is to remember that we're not all dealing with children and pedagogy. We're also working with adults and andragogy. And as you interact in the forums and discuss things back and forth, it would be useful, I believe, to keep your mind open to other potentials, to look and see what strategies work for adults that might apply for kids, or that work with kids that might apply for adults, or what some of the reasoning is and what some of the design is. So that's part of the background of this. The next piece of background, which is really important, which distinguishes this from other number of other graduate level courses, is that you will be reading some material, but you will not be swamped with readings. There are readings, I think, for about half of the weeks. The other weeks, there are not readings. This class is very practice oriented. You will also be subscribing to, or have already subscribed to, lynda.com. I expect you to make full use of that. And particularly if a week seems slow or a little bit low in terms of content, this is not saying don't do anything that week. What it means is that you have time and opportunity to go watch training at lynda.com and to train yourself. Again, you get multiple benefits from working with lynda.com. One, you're getting actual time to develop your tech skills. Two, you're observing professional online training that hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people pay for, so you can learn a good model. And three, you can practice your developing instructional design skills as well as your ability to analyze and deconstruct materials while you are simultaneously learning. So if things ever seem slow, go to lynda.com, engage in more training. I also wanted to talk a little bit about the practical nature of this class. If you do not have an outcome or a goal for this class, you need to get one. Think of a specific learning group. If you already have students, or you already have clients, or you already have people that you're working for, that's excellent. That's great. Then what you can do is you can say, what do I want to design for them? I've always wanted to create this kind of activity, this kind of handout. I've always wanted to teach them this process. I've always wanted to move them to this outcome, this learning, this goal that I want to reach. This class, Instructional Design, is an opportunity for you to specifically develop content and material, one or two or three pieces of material for you to use in your actual teaching with real learners, and you can test out some of this material on your learners and then revise it. So what I'd really like you to do right now at the very beginning is to think, what is it I want to teach? What do I want to help and facilitate others to learn? And then you can have a double win, because not only are you completing content and assignments for this course, you're also completing and creating content that you can use in your real world, that you can use with your learners. So that's something that I hope that we move towards. I'm trying to think of what else we have. I have a small list. We're going to be focusing primarily on ADDIE. It's the foundational instructional design philosophy. Yes, some people have moved beyond it. Other people have critiqued ADDIE. But this is just like any system. This is like capitalism. This is like Marxism. This is like Freud and psychology. You have to have a foundation and a basis from which to discuss and to work. ADDIE is that foundation. That is what we are focusing on. As you move forward, if you move beyond it, that's great. Absolutely, I salute you. But right now, what we are going to focus on is ADDIE. I just wanted to provide a brief little comment because I'm sure you'll probably be wondering either now or as we move into instructional design later on why I'm using Moodle when there are a number of more sophisticated online instructional and other kinds of delivery methods for the learning. Why didn't I use WordPress? Why didn't I use a custom site that I built myself, etc., etc.? One of the things that's really important is that as you're creating content, not only do you quickly learn that you are not the only one who is going to create the content in 98% of the situations, but you are also often working in frameworks, paradigms, and structures where other people control the mechanisms or the content or the message or the learners that you're working with, etc. You don't control all the variables. One of the common variables in higher education and online learning is the learning management system. And if you've ever worked with one, then you know how much time and effort it can require to create and generate your own solution. Why I'm using the Moodle on this is that I want to demonstrate that in spite of someone else using an LMS or requiring a specific LMS, that we can still have effective instructional design take place. Also, there's only a certain amount of time, and I, like you, want to have a life beside my work. So, to address these things, but also as a practical demonstration, that really is why I'm using Moodle. And I'm sure you were going to ask that question anyhow, so hopefully this will address that question, at least in part. I wanted to also address the basic process of how this course is going to work, the way it's been laid out and why. And in short, what we're doing is first we're orienting ourselves, we're getting a sense of community. Then we are moving into the basic principles of instructional design, learning about ADDIE, taking a potential topic that we want to work on, working through Doolittle's worksheets on that topic so that we can get the material fleshed out, so we can not just analyze the material based on our current thinking, but see how the lenses and the frameworks of instructional design can reinform us about this material and how we could deliver it. Then we will create an instructional guide. We will test the instructional guide on actual users, come back to the table, revise, and then we will move forward by moving through those same Doolittle worksheets again, but on a similar or related topic that is more sophisticated, create an online learning module or an app, and then we will be done. So essentially, foundation, practice, build skills, improve, then practice and rebuild those skills again in a more sophisticated evolution. So hopefully that provides you with a simple but clear overview of what we're doing and why we're doing it. The final piece is that I want to welcome you to this course. This is one of the most exciting and challenging courses to teach as well as to learn. It's very hands-on. It's very experiential. If you have any questions, contact me, email me, contact your colleagues. Do not hesitate to drop an email. I look forward to working with you, and I hope that you have a good day.